Hi everybody, what we're doing today is fitting some rear brake shoes. I'm using FA Italia 1 straight out the bag. Open the bag up. 1, 2, and we've got a new spring. Them in the bin. Open up our spring, and what I've got here is a set of SXLI ones. I just wanted to show the difference in the two, and there is difference simply because of this cam up here. This cam, they're thinner on the GP because the actual brake shoes is not a lot, but if I turn them around that way you can see the difference. The LISX TV brake shoes have a bigger cam, and there's two versions as far as I can remember of that cam. One's an offset one with a dot on it, and the dot always goes at the bottom, so like this is angled down slightly, so it's closer this side than it is the top side. And what they are is, because these are bigger brake shoes, they fill up basically on the cam more. So what they're doing there is, for a given movement of the brake shoe, it moves more. Now there are modified brake shoes where these come out and you put a single one in the middle, and they're supposed to open out more like that. Jockey Box and Stop, whatever his name is, something like that. Hope the rain's not too heavy, you can't hear me, but I'm getting some grease, copper grease basically, and we're going to put that on the leading edges of the shoes, which are these. Just put a little dab on each one. Keep the contact of the lining, keep that clean, and then what we need to do is just, sorry knocking the camera there, just put a little bit inside, like so, on both shoes, and then we're finished with the grease itself. Copper grease is, as its name suggests, it's got little bits of copper in it, and it also it sort of stops rust, etc., where normal grease just will, on brake shoes where they get hot, would just burn off when they get warm. That's the hub I'm using, which actually did come from that engine. Long story short, I put this engine in my Series 2 while I was rebuilding that engine. That's now back in, so the shoes and the rear hub were from the Series 2, so they've gone back on the engine that's gone in. And also because I had modified DC electronics, not normal, this is normal AC, not full DC setup, so that's how this engine was. So in a previous video that I put out last week, you saw me rewire all this ready to go back in again, so that's all timed up, ready to go. I didn't disturb anything to do with the exhaust, etc. on the engine. The engine was built with quite a few new parts. It's got a new crank in it, as you can see on the back there. It's got the MB rear hub bearing, rear holding plate, whatever you want to call it, with the indentations for the different bearings. The new bearings now are sit slightly proud, and Mark at MB has had these made up so that the plate goes in and it doesn't bend. I don't know if I can find one without messing around too much. I know I did have one out on here. It's just a flat plate that it's got like a washer plate and a flat plate, and what they do is they put a tremendous strain on these outer nuts and bolts and studs, whereas this is 100% flat, fits lovely. Right, so I've got to put the spring on as such, goes through one side and through the other side, and then you just literally just hook them on and turn the cam put one on at a time. I can't actually see the cam without standing up, so excuse me. Like so. What I do is get a screwdriver in, which I have got somewhere on there because I did mess around with the shoes. I'm sorry if I'm cutting across the camera. But, let's move that socket set away. Right, I've got a bigger screwdriver there. So what we do is we just get our screwdriver in and just prise these slightly open, like so, until the cam, like they're both on the cam. Then just get a wooden part of the hammer and just knock them on bit by bit. Move the cam so they're, you know, they're free. That's quite heavy with a brand new spring in there. And what I always do, just as a cure-all if you like, is to get some brake cleaner and just give the linings just a bit of a clean up, give them a rub down, wipe them over. Now I don't know if these are going to need shimming or whatever, and GP we've got a clip like that, so they need to go on a little bit more. Put the clip on. Get the screwdriver on there again and just pull the clip in place. That's our clip in place, it's all in. And then our hub, if okay, if we don't need to take any of the linings down, should just literally go on over the top. What I tend to do with the linings is, hopefully you can see this, give them a good clean inside, and again just spray them out. Any grease, you've got rid of that grease. Wipe it off with a clean rag again, like so. And I'll show you, even though they've been rubbed down as such. See the dirt on that? Right. As we already probably know, or we should know, the cone should go over the middle. That one's not 100% lined up. So the groove in the cone just needs knocking round a tad, like so, so it's bang in the middle. Probably a little bit more than that actually. If I just grab the camera, excuse the camera work. So there's your spline, it can bang in the middle of the spline. Right there, where it was just slightly to one side. I'll put it back down again. And then what we're going to do then is we're going to grab our rear hub. Bear in mind I've just cleaned inside there, so it should hopefully just slide on and rotate correctly. Get that out of the way. Perfect. And just a tiny movement and they're on. This is the difference between buying stuff that fits and stuff that doesn't, basically. So what we've got to do now is give that a wipe as well, because we need our washer and our bolt, and that's the only one I can find at the moment. But I'll cut away and I'll get all these bits that go on the hub together and I'll cut back in again. Right, so I've got the washer, put the washer on, or not, put the washer on. And we've got our hub nut. This is a brand new one, not very clean, but it's never been used. It's not stainless steel, which I normally use. And then if we look for our 27mm socket, which should be on here. That's what 17, there's the 27mm. Tighten that up. This was what I was saying about this is the washer, but you have another plate that holds on the rear bearing, and what happens is, I think you can probably see on that one, it curves in as it tightens down. I can see the imprint excuse me, of the old bearing where it sits proud this way. So it's always advisable, if you've got a bearing sticking up, you know, that's why MB made them. So and he made them for that reason, so that they wouldn't be under a lot of stress. So all we got to do now is just grab the wheel. You can turn the actual hub if you want. Tighten this up, because it's not on the scooter as such. I don't like tightening these up until it's in the scooter and it's, you know, it's torqued up properly. You can buy like a bracket that sits on here and stops the wheel from rotating. Again, you can get a friend to put a screwdriver through the lever and hold it. I don't bother, I just hand tighten it like so, and put on the parts. Right, so that'll spin. I'm just trying to think, that one's a better washer than the other one. Might have to turn that round a bit more. Yeah, probably needs a little bit more on it than that, although we have got 3 positions. Tad more. What I might have to do is put a screwdriver in there and just lock up the back brake, or I can put a bit more pressure on it. I don't know if I can do it by hand. Yeah, it did actually turn quite a bit there, didn't it? Probably too much for what we want, but yeah, I think gone a bit too far there. All I want at the moment is so that the engine can be bolted in and these can come off again. Yeah, so I've gone a tad too far, so what I'm going to do is just take that pressure off. I'll lock up the brakes again and just go back a tad. Oh, I've gone too far again. That'll do. Put our lock in there. We can tighten this because we don't want that to be lost. And I've got them out somewhere as well. Basically just tighten this up so it doesn't get lost. And that's the engine ready basically to be put in again. Drop it off the mount, stick on the back wheel. What I tend to do then is just, you can wheel it around with the mounting bolt up here. Put these back on, wheel it. Either get a friend to help you to align it in the frame, but then you're connecting your cables up, your electrics. This engine's already oiled, so it's basically tighten that up when it's in before you ride it, obviously. Put your choke cable in, your petrol, your HT lead. It's a ready, you know, it's a ready to go engine now. So that's about as far as I can go. But looking at these brake shoes, they're very, very old Li ones, and I seem to have 2 sets of them for some reason, not one. What I'm going to also do is show people what to do, seeing as I've got one. How to overhaul a drum brake, which is fitted to about 99.9% of Lambrettas out there. Li, SX150, TV 175s, they're the slightly different back hub on them. They're more akin to the disc. It's got a pin that comes out here. GP 150, 125. Like I say, 80% at least of the Lambrettas, I would say, had these. So what I'm going to do on the next video, I'm just going to show you, strip it down, clean it, oil seals, bearings. I've got some new hub nuts, etc. I've got some stainless steel locking one. I'll show you the components inside it. I mean, that came off of the green Li that's that I've recently done up. And due to time restrictions, I didn't have enough time to actually show everybody what I was doing with it, which was the reason why I bought it anyway. So thanks for watching on this video. I hope you know, somebody's learnt anything. If you've got problems with that turning, then you have to look at which shoe. You can get some French chalk and put it on the shoes, and it will see it transfer onto the inside of the hub, and you'll see where it's rubbing. It will clear off the French chalk off the outside. So you put French chalk on here, if it's rubbing there and catching there, you'll see that be shiny, and the rest of it will have French chalk on. So what you do is just file it down. You're supposed to file, if you can see that, the leading edge down on both. And what some people do as well is they cut grooves in these, so that if the water gets in, it gets channeled out again. So the brakes are supposed to work better like that. I've never had a problem with that, so I don't bother doing that. I've bought them new friend ones already grooved like that, and to be honest with you, riding the scooters, I've never seen a difference in them. So like I say, I'll knock this one on the head now. Thanks for watching. Next one on the list is the drum brake. Bye for now.